It's great to have you join us on yet another thrilling episode of Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV. I am Henry Igwebike. In a bit, we'll be going to our newspaper headlines to see what they have for us this morning, and after that, we'll be in conversation for today. While we'll get all of that produced for you, please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com, and also follow, like, and comment on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. With me in the studios to do justice to our newspaper reviews today is Mr. Cyril Abaku. He is a public affairs analyst and also a broadcaster. You're welcome, Mr. Cyril. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
And welcome to yet another awesome edition. So right about now, let's move to the first daily we have today, and this is coming from the Vanguard newspaper. And the big story there says, after Ekiti, more children kidnapped in Benue State. And right below that story, we have established state police to fight insecurity. PDP governors tell federal government. And we have an image of all the PDP governors paying a visit to the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfwang, in Jos, Plateau State. And on the top strip of the same newspaper, we have why government should remove electricity subsidy, and that is coming from the power minister. And hardship, 7 months not enough to fix Nigeria, and that is coming from the federal government. While all of that is making the big news on the Vanguard newspaper, we have a congratulatory message from Tinubu to Dangote on bargain Senegalese award. Mr. Cyril, let's dig deep into the issue that concerns us the most here. And of course, it's no other but the hardship that it's becoming an epidemic in Nigeria. The federal government are saying that 7 months is not enough to fix Nigeria. So let's assume that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, of course, it has 4 months, right? So 4 months minus 4 years. So we have less than 3 years and some couple of months. And the federal government are saying that 7 months is not enough to fix in Nigeria. Do you think that makes sense when you take a look at it and you juxtapose it with other great leaders around the world and what they have achieved for the country?
Thank you for the question. I don't agree. I don't believe that 7 months is not enough to... Now, the word is not... I don't think anybody is saying you should fix Nigeria in the manner of fixing a country. But 7 months is enough for us to know where you are headed. If 7 months was not enough to, quote, fix Nigeria, or even unquote, fix Nigeria, the question is, what is 7 months enough to do? It was enough to plunge us into deep hardship. It was enough to make the Naira head into very, very turbulent headwinds. It was enough to make fuel become scarce. It was enough to make the Naira become scarce. It was enough to make food become scarce. It was enough to make kidnappers the new big boys in town.
The new entrepreneurs.
The question is, what is 7 months enough to do? Like I said, you may not fix a country in the manner of turning that country from third world to first.
The first world.
But what have you done in 7 months? That's the question. It is enough to carry 1,411 people to attend a conference in Dubai. A conference in which we had nothing to significantly contribute. A conference that a week before that time, there was a similar conference in Nigeria organized by Nigerian climate people, and federal government shunned that conference. The person who is doing the climate project for the federal government refused to go. He had been invited, he said he was coming. At the last minute, he said he had to call in the villa. That's what they all say. A lot of DGs, ministers, when they want to dodge a meeting, they say they just got a call from the villa. It's a lie. So the question I'm asking again is, what is enough to be done in 7 months? It was enough to donate 5 billion naira to states. And some states even got even more than nobody has accounted for in the name of palliative. It was enough to make people start receiving 2 cups of rice as palliative from federal government. I don't know if you even saw a single grain in front of your door.
Of course, I did not.
So 7 months have been enough to unleash unspeakable damage on the economy. And yet, we are being told that 7 months is not enough to fix a country. 7 months is more than enough to make significant change that can reverberate with sustainability in Nigeria. The question is, look at, in 7 months, people went to Plateau State to keep people in Mango and all these places at will. Where has the president gone to? Did he visit people in Plateau State? I'm not aware.
No, he did not.
Our president is in France. He's hibernating in France. What did he go to France to do? Nobody knows. So when we look at all the energy that has gone into everything that is wrong in 7 months, the question will be, if we had packed all the energy into doing what is right in 7 months, wouldn't have been better? Would have been better by now.
True.
In 7 months, what the work of us? In 7 months, you could have prevented any form of doctor strike, which has happened under Tinubu like twice or twice. In 7 months, you could have prevented, you could have put things in place to reverse Japa. You could have done that. In 7 months, you could have gotten small-scale businesses to begin to thrive again. You could have done that. In 7 months, you could have made sure that fuel is no longer scarce in the country. You could have done that. In 7 months, you could have made power stable. But instead of all of this, we are being told, so is 7 months the excuse? I can tell you that this, like when did it, for almost all the time, he kept on saying the fault was to Jonathan, the fault was to Jonathan, the fault was to Jonathan. At a point, even he knew that he didn't have anything new to say. Because in any case, Buhari had nothing to offer Nigerians. So today, when we are being told 7 months is not enough to fix a country, the question will be, how long is enough then?
Exactly.
And in 7 months, have you done everything that is right to be done? You have not. Let me drop anchor there.
All right. So let's take a look at. I would love you to pair these two stories together, still on the Vanguard newspaper, if you may. And number one is why government should remove electricity subsidy, and that's coming from the Minister of Power. And the second one is establish state police to fight insecurity. PDP governors are telling a federal government. So tell us, coming from where you just your submission, about 7 months and all of that. Now let's see how we can marry these two stories together.
So, Eric, to be honest, I wouldn't have spoken about the electricity matter if not that you picked it as a single item to throw at me, because what we're doing in power is like giving birth to a baby and then starving the child. That's what we've done in power, starving the child and then beginning to treat malnutrition. It costs more. It costs more than to feed the child.
Exactly.
No matter, and look, we've said it. The power problem is not some. First of all, in my view, so I think that the fact that we're not making it a national cause to hybridize our power sources in this country is a problem. We have enough wind wasting in Katsina. We have enough sunshine wasting in Ondo. We have enough water. The dams in Mambila and Kainji, which were not optimized in any way. Then again, the funny matter of what we call the national grid. If not that, we really should call it the national grid. Because I always complain that grid, the national grid, it needs a national grid. It's a symbol of grid.
The EE.
It's a symbol of grid. We are still in a country where you generate power in Sokoto, or Lagos, let me use Lagos as an example, then feed it into an unknown place that they call transmission board. It travels from Lagos and maybe enters Ogun, enters Ondo, enters Ekiti, enters Ilesha. Then from there it goes to maybe from Ekiti to Kogi, from Kogi to Abuja, Abuja to Niger, from Niger to Kaduna, Kaduna to Kano. The question is, where is the power going to? Where the power going to? It goes to Kaduna, then from Kaduna, they now say that they have trapped it. And from Kaduna, it will now be fed to a home in Port Harcourt. So it begins its onward journey from Kaduna, it enters Niger, from Niger it enters Abuja, from Abuja to Kogi, from Kogi to Edo, from Edo to Delta, from Delta to Bayelsa, from Bayelsa to River State. No.
What a long haul.
What we need to do, right? You see, today, for example, to even apply to get a prepaid meter, It's not an easy thing to do. Sometimes you would have applied and waited for months, even years, the meter will not come. So we need to infuse more transparency, infuse efficiency, and then not just to say we are decentralized, we must effectively decentralize power generation, transmission, and distribution. Today, the thing is like a monopoly. Get more players into the space, okay? Let them be able to generate, because as far as I see it, government still being in business is a waste of time.
But we have seen that succeed in South Africa with ESCOM. ESCOM for some years now, we have had success with power generation, and it was solely owned by the government.
ESCOM has also had problems of late.
Yes, of late, but over the years, for decades now, that has been run and operated by the government, they've never had issues.
Yes, but now they're having issues. So we need to go and also, you see, when we want to examine the ESCOM issue, there are some details that will emerge that may not be very pleasant to the ears. Did you see that from after Mandela and arguably Thabo Mbeki, South Africa has been going down?
Exactly.
Down. Yes. ESCOM is just a victim of that downward slide.
Similar to the leadership and ineptitude that we see in Nigeria.
Exactly. So the easiest way to prevent, to shield yourself from that is to simply say, well, guys, we have this same thing when we deregulated the telecom sector. The government is still there, but we have options now. More investors still welcome. In spite of those who are doing mobile telephony, there are those who are single ISPs. All right. True. So there is that value chain. Exactly. Why can't we think of something in that direction holistically? Other than what we are doing today. The other story, the governor was going to see Governor Mutfan. And you are aware that about maybe more than 15 states in Nigeria are planning to have their own vigilance groups.
Over 50,000. 50,000 have been recruited.
Have been recruited.
Yes.
Vigilance groups have members called vigilantes. Am I correct?
True.
So this is clearly a failure, a colossal failure. You see, we should be ashamed. I don't have to say this. A father who could have gone out to fend for himself will stay back at home and wouldn't go out for no good reason. Okay. A neighbor comes along and says, your child is not going to school, let me pay. Shame should make such a father to say, don't worry, I can pay the fee. And what will the father do? Run out, fend for himself, make money, come and pay.
True.
Or the father says, you know what? You will go to a local jail and have foster parents. Since the family is not able to take care of the child, maybe some national scheme along and say, can we take your son with us? You will go to school. The father says, okay, pay with him. So that, they become the person's foster children, as a child or something, or foster parents. From time to time, the child comes back home, sees the father, and then goes back. What am I saying? Here, that would be security. Which the federal government, as biological parents, up to this time, have failed to do. In fact, I'm going to reverse the logic. The foster parent is the federal government, because the real owners of security are the people themselves, the state governors and the villages. Now that the foster child, the federal government has failed, return this child to the true owners of the work. Let us go for state police. We've had this discussion over and over again. We are not willing to allow the way the former deputy senate president put it. He said, look, you have CJs of states, all right? If anything happens, the MJ still has power to superintend. But by and large, the governor will nominate a CJ, swear the person in. Is that not so? True. And that person is the head of the judicial ministry. We can do something for the police. If matters got out of hand for any reason, you can federalize that authority. But the police should not have day-to-day powers over state security issues. It is fun and primitive. But then we need to wake up and learn.
Exactly. So let's move to our next daily. Now we have from the Punch newspaper the big story, just like we had in the other one. Abduction. 15 states enlist 50,000 vigilantes against kidnappers. And we have on the Rider Sokoto training 2,000 men. Delta recruited 2,400 men. Ogun. 6,500, says governor's aides. Abductors threatened to kill Ekiti school children, reduced ransom to 15 million naira. And that's coming from the parents of the children. And on the top strip of the same newspaper, have federal government bars states from collecting mining royalties. And we have naira rebounds as banks offload excess dollars. And we have an image here of Babajide Sanwo-Olu visiting China to take stock of the Red Line and also the Blue Line project. And Mr. Cyril, let's talk about this issue of the federal government banning states from collecting mining royalties. And I'd love you to take me with this discourse to what is happening in Zamfara State, where, of course, it's no longer news that we have gold and other solid minerals in such places, but there's no data to prove that this is the amount of minerals gotten from here and how the federal government is taking charge of that. But everybody looks towards the oil and gas. So if with this statement coming from the federal government banning state from collecting royalties, do you think that would be effective in states like Zamfara, where you know too well that the cases of terrorism is very, very...
So thank you for the question. The first thing I want to find out is this news item suggestive of a political solution? Because the federal government is banning states from taking mining, which means they've been taking it all along.
Yeah.
On whose authority? And for the record, I'm glad, when you took all the stories, I wanted to respond to it. I'm glad you went there. Henry, this federal government cannot, mark my words, cannot prevent the affected states from taking. Is it? But when they even somebody, are they saying that they can drill, they can mine, and go everything to federal government, or that they shouldn't even mine again?
Because when you talk about royalties, you're using it the cumulative.
I can't. No, royalties simply means the money that accrues from the business.
Of course.
So this is even another pointer to the opacity, to the extreme opacity with which this whole business is taking place under the table. Because if all along this money has been going on, and people who has been taking the monies are coming from money, who has been taking it? Who has it been going? And how come states have been able to mine when mining is purely an exclusive issue? Who gave you the power? Even if it was Buhari that did it, as soon as they came to government, this is the fact that they should have reversed. What the Minister of Something has said some months ago back was that they were giving them 30 days to stop and join cooperatives also. I don't even understand what's going on. Because, you see, normally, even I have been in the matter that they won't even come for a discussion. The federal government just have arrived and decided that issue will get away. Alright? But now I've seen a different treatment for a different part of the country. That was the government does not have the capacity. Because people are afraid of political consequences to their actions.
True.
So they know that those who are merely headlines, they cannot, will not. The companies that came in to do the money of the state government, who are they? And where did they come from? So these are the issues. If government didn't give a license, especially to go and mine, this whole thing, the way the mining should even broke some years back. Because as I said, the matter of the thing became inevitable. Okay, so now let the whole world know. Otherwise, quiet and secret, they've been mining these things in Zamfara. When they are doing away from there, they came to Elisha to continue that same shady business. Until we are ready and serious to deal with these issues squarely. How did they put it? Squarely.
Yeah.
We are not, this outline does not bring us any closer to a solution. It does not.
Exactly. All right, let's go to our last daily for today. It is coming from the Nigerian Tribune, and the big story there says abducted school children. Parents lament. IGP moves AIG to Ekiti. And on the right we have 13 suspects arrested. We need help. Our children, wives are battling with life in kidnappers' den. Parents of kidnapped pupils cry out. And in all the stories coming from the Nigerian Tribune, we have INEC excludes PDP from Saturday rerun in Plateau State. Crude oil sales take over by CBN illegal, and that is coming from Atiku. Nigerians are paying over 200. Nigerians are paying over 200 unofficial taxes, and that's coming from Oyedele. Mr. Cyril, let's take a look at this job from Atiku saying crude oil sales take over by CBN illegal. Is it doing this because he is in the opposition, or do you think that is the right thing that the CBN had done? Coming from Atiku.
Where in the CBN charter or is it CBN Act is it written? When we are not at war, when we are not in an emergency situation, when you know our federal government is a funny government. I'm sorry.
But don't you think, because I can recall very vividly, the reason why there is this little change is because of the scarcity in dollars. So it's in NNPC, or whatever money that should go to NNPC should reroute itself to the CBN. So the CBN can have stocks.
And there's no corruption there.
In the CBN,
there's no corruption there. It's I mean, it's a Friday. Normally should be. Yes, but Nigeria has a way of conflicting issues and just making. So first of all, why is the NNPC not able to sell petrol and make the dollars and why are they not able to do that? Nobody is checking the books. Nobody is asking it because even they don't keep record. This it will fail. This was the CBN will not take a single kobo, a single cent. They cannot take it. It will fail. Because the opacity with which the NNPC has been run for many years. You see, a lot of this is not. So federal government says, if they lack integrity, how can we listen to them? How can we believe what they say? Is it the first time they said something and it turned out that what they said was not correct? They know it's not possible. The CBN will not be able to take to what is it called? To receive an account is not possible. It will fail. Believe me, it will fail on arrival.
So which means Atiku is right with him.
No, but of course, you see that's why I said emergency situations. For example, when we never built Abuja, I told Julius Berger, take the oil. One just take the oil from them, sell it, make the money and build. He was like, no, that was a military government. If by fair, the head of the military president says something, who are you to challenge him? That's what number two, he was pragmatic. He didn't want them to first of all say, okay, NNPC, when they get okay, we have some commitments before they now begin to give to you. No, they're going to waste time. You just come in, take this quota, sell. It was pragmatically, and that was why I said I need an emergency. But the CBN has to quickly, this CBN that was giving loans to farmers directly the other time, I don't know going to take NNPC money to account for it. I'm going to be equally corrupt.
Very true.
But the other piece is too big for anybody to think you can take them down overnight. It's not possible. It will not work.
Very true. Very true. All right, so that's just about the time we have for our newspaper reviews, and you will agree with me. It was such an awesome discussion. A lot to say. Thank you to Mr. Cyril Abaku for making this episode another wonderful one. So when we return, no hope for victims as community raises 3 million naira of 100 million naira ransom, now reduced to 15 million naira for the abducted school children in Ekiti State. That in a bit when we come back, please don't go anywhere.